Yo, what's up, people? It's Silo One Touch, and I welcome you back to another episode of the chat room. And today is a special edition. I have someone so special in the studio, and I think the best way is to let him introduce himself. Yeah, welcome on set.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you so much. So my name is Chiambi, also known as Manchis, a musician and a music producer, and many more.
An actor as well.
Yeah,
forgot
so
that one.
Let me just say entertainer, because there's a lot. Choreographer and boom operator.
Yeah. Almost Yvonne.
Almost everything.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good to have you here.
No, it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
I'm really happy to be here.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Even where we can start is something else.
I know. We'd need the whole day.
The whole day talking about the music here.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's the whole purpose of the chat room is we talk about the entertainment from here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we'll look at one or two things in terms of the music here in Southern Province, here in Monze.
Sure.
And that's why I brought you here, because I know Manchis, he started as a musician. And now he's a producer.
Now you're a producer.
Or he started as an artist.
Yes.
Yeah, now he's a producer.
Exactly.
Yeah, so at least I've heard the views from the guys on the challenges that they are going through. Sure. So I said, I know, we can hear from a producer as well, say, what is happening? Where are we lacking behind in terms of our music here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right into it. So on the production side, one of the challenges that I think I've seen in Southern Province is lack of artists to invest in their craft. What I mean by investing is knowing that production comes at a cost.
Yes.
And so the more you invest in the production, the better the quality that you have in that production. Because a full production involves a lot of things. It's not only me as a music producer. There will be other musicians that I'll have to bring in order for them to give me the sound that I'm looking for. For instance, maybe a guitarist or maybe a pianist who is professional at that. And so my job will just maybe to engineer the whole thing. But I can have different people to come and do that. And that is a cost. So most musicians, I feel, here in Southern Province, they are not yet for that idea of investing much in production.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I think, not knowing which producer is good for what genre of music. So most artists will just come to a producer without knowing what that producer, the strength of that producer, and also there's also the issue of developing chemistry with the producer.
Yes.
As an artist, you develop a certain chemistry with the producer so that you come up with a certain sound that is emotional. As you know, music is all about emotional connection. Yeah. So you can't just come and say, get him, at least have a little bit of discussion so that you get to know your producer, how he thinks, how he's thinking about your music, because it's not only about the studio. Yeah. You're also thinking about what will happen after recording the song, where it's going to go, which people are going to use. And so most people that I've worked with in Southern Province, they only think about recording a song. And so after recording a song, it becomes a challenge. What next? And so most of them will pack the music. And you as a producer, because you use a lot of effort, to come up with that good sound. And then when you realize that a certain good song is just seated on, it's a challenge. So I think those are the challenges that I've seen.
So where does your job end as a producer?
Okay. So as a producer, one thing that people need to know and we need to start learning is that when an artist goes to a producer to make a song, the producer is also part of the creative of that song. So meaning the ownership of the song, the producer is also part of that ownership of the song. Because it's not only paying for studio time. That studio time is just for the time of the producer in the studio and not for the production itself.
Okay.
So meaning when you produce a song with a certain producer, he takes part in the production process. So meaning that song, there's a certain percentage of the creativity that needs to be credited to the producer. Yeah. And so there's no end to the music that is produced by a producer. By producer, yes. It means when it goes out, the producer is always a part of that song, wherever it will go. Wherever deals that song is going to make, the producer is also part of the deal. That. So it doesn't end.
From the previous episodes that I had, there's a question, say, where does one in terms of a musician, end to be called an upcoming musician?
Well, that's a very interesting one.
Yeah.
So let me go back to my time when I was just starting out in the music industry. You know, there's a lot that I had to learn, a lot of knowledge that I needed to learn.
Yeah.
And so you write a song, you record the song, and then you get views from people. They'll give you different types of views. So that whole process of learning, you're upcoming because you are learning the process, you're learning the business. Of course, learning doesn't end, but there's the basics that everyone needs to know.
Yeah.
So the process of you knowing those basics, that's what makes you an upcoming artist. There's a time when you learn the basics, you know how everything moves, you stop becoming an upcoming artist. You are now an underground artist if you haven't yet blown up.
So there's a difference between an underground artist and an upcoming artist.
Yes, very clear difference. It's a very clear difference. An upcoming artist is someone who is learning from those who are already there. So when you learn the basics and you already know how the whole business works, you can't be an upcoming artist because you have the experience.
So you're just an underground.
You're an underground artist, yes. And we have, I think, for example, in America, we have people like Nas. You know, Nas is not a mainstream artist. He's an underground artist, But you can't call him an upcoming. You understand?
Okay, we are learning. There's controversy is always there.
Sure.
So someone said, no, we are not getting the support from here or whatever, that kind of a thing.
Okay.
How is the gap between the community and the artist? Maybe that's why there's that the thing of not getting the support from our communities.
Okay.
How is the gap there? In your own capacity, what have you seen? Do we have?
Okay.
Is there any gap in terms of? Have you noticed? Say there's a gap between. It can be maybe the business society with the artist.
Sure.
How is the gap there?
Okay. I think there's a couple of ways that I can answer that.
Yeah.
One of them is it needs to be a two-way thing, you know, where both parties meet at a certain point.
Yes.
And so if an artist is always doing music and expecting to be noticed out of the blues, it's something different. And so there are people who go knocking on doors, you know, when you go knocking on doors and make sure that people know what product you're offering, what services you're offering, and how they can benefit from that.
Yeah.
So music is a business, and businessmen are there to make business. So in as much as they want to fund the music, they need to know what they're going to benefit from the music.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. And so music, the advantage of music is that it gives a wide coverage. It's more like a brand, you know.
Yeah.
It gives a wide coverage. Even just this chat room that we have here, there's a lot of people that can see it.
Yes.
And so if we pitch this idea to certain business organizations to say you can advertise on the chat room.
Yes.
That's now bridging the gap between the creatives and the business society.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But in a situation where the creatives are pitching the ideas to the business guys and the business guys are not seeing value so that they can invest back in it, there's still another way you can go around that through, we know that the world is a global village.
Yeah.
And so right now you don't really need a local businessman to really advertise on a local show. You know, you can get someone with products maybe outside Southern Province, and they'll advertise on the chat room and they'll still get views because this chat room won't be seen only in Southern Province, but
the whole world.
It's a global village. So I think it can be bridged by, you know, I think networking is the
key,
thing. Networking, knocking on doors, pitching ideas. And if they don't believe in them, use something else and they'll still come back afterwards and say, oh, we didn't know, so we can now fund the music. And so artists, I can advise them to start branding themselves. I think when an artist, you brand yourself, you find an audience for yourself where when you pitch an idea to a business person, they'll see the value that you have, the audience that you have.
Yes.
If you have got a page that has got a lot of followers, obviously someone will say, let me advertise my products on your show. So you want to shoot a music video? How much do you want for a music video?
Yeah.
For instance, I'll give you 5,000 and then you advertise for me or you become my brand ambassador for a period of maybe 6 months or to a year.
Yeah.
And you do that and it's business at the end of the day.
So in your, I know you've been interacting with these artists. Do you think our artists, in terms of information, adequate information towards these days we are talking about social media, it's all about numbers.
Yeah.
Do you think our artists they know what to do in terms of how they handle their social media accounts, in terms of maybe getting deals. Are you seeing our artists are doing that?
I think one of the challenges that I've had with certain artists in Southern Province is not wanting to learn from people who have the ideas, you know. I think somewhere around 2020, I'd come up with an idea of how we can be selling music in Southern Province through some already established platforms.
Yes.
And so out of the people that I talk to, the musicians that I talk to, very few artists have managed to adhere to the advice and put their music on platforms where they can sell. So one of the biggest challenges Southern Province is facing, the WhatsApp groups. I don't know if you have that challenge as you, but as for me, I've been added to a lot of groups. It's like every musician in Southern Province
has his own
a WhatsApp group. And that WhatsApp group, people want MP3s in the groups.
Yeah.
Like you just, give us a new song and you send in. And then you can't really have value for your music because you're giving it out
for free. Yeah.
And those people, when they get those songs, they put them in computer centers, and then people who come from rural areas are buying. So meaning the people that you're sending the songs to are making money off your music. And you as an artist, you don't make money. And so advice, when it comes to giving advice, I think most artists in Southern Province don't want to get advice. There's an issue of, putting music on all streaming platforms.
Yes.
If we take a survey right now to find out how many artists have got their songs on Spotify in Southern Province, so let's say in a certain town like Monze, you'd find out of maybe 20 artists that we have, one. Now imagine the ratio. So when it comes to the global village and the online way of making music, of making money in numbers, we are still lagging behind. I think that's why maybe the business community is a bit reserved when it comes to putting in money in artists.
So you talked about artists putting their music on streaming sites. Let's talk about like Vesesani, where you are guaranteed as an artist to say you're going to get your money there and there when you sell your music. Is it the artists themselves, or is it you, the producers, who don't, or maybe the owners of those sites who don't give out information to the people out there on the way you go about it in terms of putting your music there?
Okay.
Where is it lack of information to the artists, or?
Okay. I think information is always there for someone who needs it. Back in the day, we used to have public libraries. There'll be information in the library, and someone had to go to the library to get the information. And the library wouldn't come to you, but you go to the. So for an artist who is really eager to make it in the music industry, information is a must. You need to find information. Whether it's scarce or it's a lot or it's available, you need to find it. And like for me in Vesesani, I had to research on my own and get to know how it works. And I started uploading music on Vesesani just by myself. Vesesani didn't come to me to pitch the idea to me. But because of what I was seeing, learning from other artists who are doing it, you can still learn from other people. So I don't think information is a problem, especially in this era where there's internet. Anything that you want to know about anything, it's there. You can learn. So I think it's just the interest that artists have in wanting to know more.
So I'll get it. Say it all comes back to say the artists from here, they don't want to learn in terms of social media, because this time music is all about social media. Exactly. And giving your music out for free in terms of I have another episode of the journey on Anchor. It's there on Spotify, where I talked about the artist, where you give your music for free out there. Kulima guys on my corridors, you take your music there, and someone sells your music, maybe per song, that's it, a one kwacha. Now just imagine if we had here in Southern Province having a platform where we can put our music,
and then people
are buying, maybe it's 5 kwacha per song, and at the end of the month, as an artist, you get something.
Exactly.
So I think even Vesesani is doing good. So the guys, they just don't want to put the music out there and make money at the end of the day, you know. So now comes in the issue of the shows. We have promoters and the likes. We've heard from the previous episodes that I've done, say here the promoters know we like events, here no the artists here and there. So in terms of you through the time that you've been a music producer, a musician, and looking at the issue of promoters,
sure,
how is it going with the artist again?
Okay.